You gave me a rare woman. God, I loved her well.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 Outlander moments.
It was as if I stepped outside on a cloudy day, and suddenly the sun came out.
For this list, we'll be looking at the steamiest, most emotional, and all-around greatest parts of this dramatic saga. Watch out for spoilers ahead, and let us know if we missed any of your favorite moments in the comments below. Number 20. Claire travels through time for the first time. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, or in this case, one stumble through magic stones. This was the moment that started everything, and even though she didn't immediately land on her feet, it led Claire to Jamie and a life full of adventure.
Perhaps I had stumbled onto the set of a cinema company filming a costume drama of some sort.
The adventure starts immediately after she wakes up at the foot of the stones with redcoats and kilted Scots running around and guns firing.
But there was no logical reason for actors to fire live ammunition.
We also love the monologue where Claire eloquently compares the fall through the stones to being in a car accident. It certainly has the same level of chaos.
Then the driver took a bridge too fast, and I woke to see the world spinning outside the car windows, and the sickening sensation of falling at high speed.
Number 19. Prison escape. When Jamie was captured and put in Wentworth Prison with Blackjack Randall as his warden, everyone knew he was in deep trouble.
We have to go back for him.
In order to get him out, it took his loyal friends, Claire, creativity, and Jamie's own resolve. Seeing Jamie get tortured is pretty harrowing to watch, but it makes his escape that much more satisfying.
Easy, lad. Easy. We're getting you out of here.
It was especially gratifying when Jack gets stampeded by a herd of cattle. Seeing everyone rally together to save Jamie is beautiful, and even though the prison leaves him emotionally and physically scarred, it's an important part of his story and brings him closer to Claire. Number 18. Jamie and Claire say goodbye to Ian. We're sorry to hit you with an emotional scene so soon, but sometimes the most powerful moments come from difficult circumstances.
I'm staying.
Ian, what are you doing?
The Frasers finally find Roger after being taken by the Mohawk, but they won't give him back without a trade.
Brave and canny move. As soon as you can, escape or I'll come for you.
No. I mean it. I'm staying.
Ian decides to sacrifice his own freedom so that Roger can go back to Brianna, and easily earns himself the Best Cousin award.
You must promise that you'll leave and no come back for me. I've chosen this.
Right.
It's a huge sacrifice, and seeing Jamie and Claire tearfully say goodbye to the brave boy is an added punch in the gut.
Oh, Ian.
It's a heartbreaking moment, especially when Ian and Jamie give their final hug, and we're reminded of how strong their bond is.
You once said that you wished me to become a man of worth.
Then again, how worthy you.
Number 17. Claire heals John Grey. It's hard to be cordial when someone's macking on your man, but what happens here between Claire and John Grey is a little more complicated than that.
Knowing you have Jamie and I never will is not that which grieves me. It's the truth to which I am reconciled.
John and Jamie become friends sans Claire, but she and him come face to face in season 4 when he comes to the cabin. Things are initially prickly between them. John is in love with Jamie after all. But when John becomes ill, Claire has to heal him.
But you don't approve, because if you did, you could not keep thinking of me as you choose to.
You shouldn't presume to know what I think.
During their time together, the two are brutally honest about their feelings, laying their cards on the table. It's a real turning point in the relationship, and a very important moment in the series.
Don't lose hope. You, too, deserve to have the look of satisfaction on your face.
Number 16. Fergus's Confession. The episode in season 2 called Faith is one of the series' most gut-wrenching for many reasons.
Tell me about it. No, milady. Might make you feel better.
It's where Claire loses her daughter following Jamie's duel with Black Jack, but it's also where we learn exactly why Jamie felt like he had to challenge Jack despite Claire's wishes. While Jamie is in jail, Fergus opens up to Claire. Thus, we learn what really happened.
You don't know what I ordered? You'll do.
At a brothel, Black Jack caught Fergus stealing from him and assaulted him. Jamie heard the screaming and couldn't let it slide. It's a pivotal moment for both Claire and the audience, bringing Jamie's reasoning into clearer focus.
I didn't know. I didn't know he would go to fight the Englishman. I didn't know.
Number 15, The Storm Rescue. The Season 3 finale of Outlander is filled with twists and turns. And just when you think everything is going to be all right, a storm hits. We mean that literally. As Jamie and Claire are sailing back to Scotland, a terrible storm literally hits their ship. During the commotion, she's tossed overboard.
I was dead. Everything around me was a blinding white. And there was a soft, rushing sound like the wings of angels.
By this point, the pair have lost each other too many times to count. You can bet Jamie isn't going to let it happen again. He goes in after Claire and saves her from drowning, and we feel his terror through the words he speaks.
Claire! Damn you, assassin! If you die here now, I swear I'll kill you.
Ultimately, the two wash up on the shores of America. It's a new world and a new day for our lovers, and a heartwarming, emotional roller coaster for all of us.
I said you were dead.
I told you I'd never leave you again.
Scared me half to death.
Number 14, Honeypot. Outlander is one of the steamiest shows on television, but one of the things we love about the intimate scenes between Jamie and Claire is how the writers are able to infuse humor into them.
I thought you'd be intrigued. Something different.
Different right enough.
In Season 2, the duo encounters the sexually open country of France. More open than the Scotland they know, that is. Claire decides to surprise Jamie by shaving her downstairs area. When he discovers this, he's more confused than anything else.
Claire, what have you done to yourself? Your honeypot is bare.
We love whenever Sam Heughan gets to show off Jamie's innocent side, and this scene is perfectly funny and sexy at the same time.
What must it look like?
Why don't you see for yourself?
Number 13, The Other Woman. One of the greatest moments in Outlander is when Claire and Jamie are reunited after decades apart in Season 3. Frank has died, and it seems that Jamie never remarried, so the two should be good to go, right? Wrong.
Daddy!
Daddy, who is that woman?
Daddy?
It turns out Jamie has taken another wife. And that wife is Leary, who had tried to have Claire executed the first time she came through the stones. Yikes. When Claire finds out, she and Jamie get into a screaming match.
What did you think, that I went back to Frank and lived happily ever after?
Sometimes I hoped you did. Sometimes I could see it. Him with you day and night, lying with you, taking your body, holding my bairn, and God, I could kill you for it.
But I don't have to imagine Leary.
Leary!
Gradually, all that passion turns into, well, passion. However, that transition happens before they're really done hashing things out. Luckily, they have Jenny to break the tension.
Stop it! Both of you! Fighting and rutting like wild beasts and no caring if the whole house hears you.
Number 12, Claire chooses Jamie. Throughout most of Season 1 of Outlander, Claire is more than committed to her husband, Frank. But as time wears on, her feelings for Jamie begin to confuse her. When she finally comes clean to her second spouse about being from the future, he agrees to take her back to the Stones.
There's nothing for you on this side. Nothing. Save violence and danger. Now go.
But when directly faced with the choice between Frank and Jamie, the decision becomes clear to Claire. In the dead of night, she returns to Jamie and chooses to stay with him.
On your feet, soldier.
It's one of the most romantic moments in Outlander's history, and one we won't soon forget. We don't think any of us have ever heard such sweet marching orders.
Take me home to Ladderbrook.
Number 11. Jamie saves Claire from Randall. Claire is a pretty smart cookie, but much like Jamie, she can get a little hot-headed sometimes.
All I can recall of that pivotal moment in my life was that I was angry, and I didn't know why.
Haunted by a traumatizing encounter with some British soldiers and seeing an opportunity, she makes a frantic choice to head for the stones. However, she's soon taken by none other than the lackeys of Black Jack Randall. During a terrifying meeting with the evil redcoat, none other than Jamie swoops in to save Claire from harm.
I'll thank you to take your hands off my wife.
Sam Heughan is wonderful in this scene, equal parts menacing and heroic against Tobias Menzies' maniacal evil. It's also just one of the many events that leads to our favorite duo becoming closer in body and soul.
For me, that was no choice. That was falling in love.
Number 10. Brianna and Roger's wedding. After all they've been through together and apart, it's nice to see them finally come together and tie the knot.
I love you too.
It's a beautiful occasion. Roger and Brianna are glowing, and can we just take a moment to appreciate how Jamie gets his daughter ready for the big day? He gives her his mother's pearls, all the traditional things like something blue, and he does everything he can to show her how much he loves her.
You remembered.
Something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue.
Is someone cutting onions here? It's the most important wedding since Claire and Jamie's all those years ago, and we are here for it. Number 9. The Witch Trial. Claire has gotten herself into a lot of tricky situations over the years, and she almost didn't escape this one. While Jamie is gone, Claire and Galus are accused of witchcraft, which was a very dangerous accusation back in the 18th century. Things are looking pretty bleak for Claire, until Jamie comes in swords blazing. A truly swoon-worthy moment if we've ever seen one.
I swore an oath before the altar of God to protect this woman. And if you're telling me you consider your authority to be greater than that of the Almighty, then I must inform you that I am not of that opinion myself.
The trial and subsequent rescue gives Claire the confidence to tell Jamie the truth about the whole time travel thing and her husband Frank, and ultimately brings them closer together.
I know all of this because I'm from the future.
Number 8. Jamie sends Claire back to the 1940s. Sometimes when you love someone, you have to make difficult choices. Before the finale of Season 2, we know that Claire will somehow end up back in her own time, but seeing how she ends up there is difficult to witness.
I'm not ready, Jamie. I'm not ready. Come with me. Come with me through the stones.
I can't.
Before the Battle of Culloden breaks out in earnest, Jamie makes the decision to send her and their unborn child back to the future. He knows he's probably going to die, and that Claire and the baby will be safer with Frank to take care of them.
I'll find you.
I promise.
If I have to endure 200 years of purgatory.
The intentions here are good, and the reasoning being logical doesn't make it easy. The two share an intense and heartbreaking farewell in front of the stones, and we are still recovering.
Goodbye, Claire.
Number 7. Jamie gives Fergus his name.
I cannot marry you without it. It's not allowed.
When we first meet Fergus, it's easy to be charmed by his cocky energy, but as we get to know him, we realize there's a sad kid under the surface who just wants a family. Claire and Jamie are able to give that to him right from the jump, but this moment solidifies their bond forever. During Marcelly and Fergus's wedding, it becomes clear that the latter needs a last name in order to make their marriage official.
Fraser. His name is Fergus Claudel Fraser.
It's just a name and doesn't take away from the fact that Fergus is basically already his son, but it's such a quiet and powerful moment, we couldn't pass it up.
Well, Fergus, Claudel, Fraser.
Wonderful.
Number 6. Island Reunion. Two lovers running into each other's arms on the beach is a common scene in romance, but Jamie and Claire had a unique way of getting there. After Claire gets kidnapped by the British Navy to treat a ship full of typhoid, she jumps from the ship and eventually gets washed up on the shore. She spends several days searching for Jamie and doing all she can to survive on her own, encountering many terrifying obstacles along the way. By the end, seeing them reunite is a relief and gives our hearts a much-needed break. Just seeing how relieved they are to be in each other's arms again is enough to give you the warm fuzzies. Number 5. Roger and Brianna reunite. What can we say? We love a good reunion. In this case, it's Roger and Brianna, who are apart for almost a year, and each of them goes through hell. Brianna is sexually assaulted by Stephen Bonnet and has a baby, while Roger is beaten, by Jamie no less, and traded to the Mohawk. Their relationship was up in the air for a while, but in this moment we know everything will be okay and that true love conquers all.
You're here.
I'm here.
I didn't know if you'd come.
I may be stubborn, but I'm not a fool.
While apart, they realize they're stronger together, and we hope it stays that way.
I love you. I always will.
Number 4. Murtagh is alive. While we love Jamie and Claire, another true star of Outlander is none other than Murtagh Fitzgibbons.
Uncle, you ken this old coot?
Murtagh stands in as a father figure, godfather to be precise, and a confidant for Jamie for much of the series. But after the two are in prison together at the beginning of season 3, Murtagh disappears from the show for a bit. Jamie is left thinking his friend is dead, until he walks into a blacksmith shop in America ready for a confrontation.
What the devil's the meaning of charging a lad 21 shillings for a bet? Blacksmith! I'm speaking to you.
When he sees that the blacksmith in question is none other than Murtagh himself, we all fall apart. We had been without his comforting presence for so long, and it was wonderful to have him back at last.
There's so much to tell you. I want to hear every word.
Number 3. Brianna finds Jamie.
Have you seen a tall, red-headed Scotsman?
Aye, he was here. He went round the back.
There's a lot of significance rolled into this scene that manages to make us both laugh and cry. This is the moment that Bree meets her biological father face to face. They were separated by 200 years, but through the magic of the stones, they finally meet, and what a meeting it is.
What do you want here, lassie?
You.
I'm sorry, lass. I'm a married man.
Of course, Jamie happens to be peeing on a wall when his daughter finds him, but the moment quickly becomes emotional when she reveals who she is.
My name is Brianna. I'm your daughter.
We collectively lose it when Jamie calls Brianna his babe, and watching them finally hug for the first time puts this moment over the emotional edge. Number 2. Jamie and Claire's wedding. Just like Claire wouldn't have met Jamie without first falling through the stones, she may have never let herself love him without being forced to marry him.
To death us do part.
It's not a modern fairy tale situation, but we love how Jamie does everything to make her happy, and shows how thoughtful he is.
I give you my body, that we two may be one.
Jeez. My woman.
He hunts down her gorgeous dress, has a ring made, and tenderly guides her through the traditional Scottish wedding ceremony. The wedding night brings them even closer together, both physically and emotionally, since they talk and bond before getting to the steamier part of the evening. Sometimes the best things in life require a little push. Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Claire's red Versailles dress revealed. Now that's how you make an entrance.
I see we're all ready to go. Marta, please try not to insult too many people tonight.
Jamie and Blackjack's duel. Things finally come to a head at Culloden. An intoxicated Claire. Somebody gets randy when they've been drinking turtle soup.
Bolt the door.
Murtaugh's dance moves. That bugle boy sure can move.
You're like a sour heat up there.
Claire's new ring. Swearing their love one more time.
So beautiful. Where's it from?
How'd Marta make it? One of the silver candlesticks.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Claire and Jamie's reunion after 20 years.
Whoever you are, James Fraser. Yes. I do want you.
These two were apart for 20 long years, but for us it felt like a lot longer. After Claire realizes Jamie was alive, she travels back through the stones again to find him. When she finally walks into his print shop, Jamie is so overcome with emotion that he faints. Once he wakes up, we get to witness the satisfying reunion we've been waiting for, full of emotion and a kiss that was 2 decades in the making.
You're real.
So are you.
Clearly the years apart didn't dim their love, but we'd appreciate it if they weren't separated for that long ever again. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.